Good evening, everyone. It's Proctor here, and today I'm going to talk to you about a interesting story of a Lexus GS. So I saw this Lexus on the internet for sale, and I went and took a look at it, and I realized, you know what, everything seems to be really good on this car. You know, the body looks decent, there's no rust, it's got low mileage, it's got a little bit of faded paint on the roof, which isn't a totally big deal. It's a beautiful car. Let me just show you here. Like, it is truly a gorgeous car, right? Seller told me it had 152,318 kilometers, right? Which is true. So, I told myself, before I buy this car, which she was asking a little bit of money for, because it had supposedly low kilometers, that I would run a CarProof or a Carfax history check on it, and if it checked out, I would purchase the car. So I spent quite a bit of money on this 98 Lexus GS 300. You would just assume everything will be fine as soon as you got a history report. It says there's no accidents, it's actually got low mileage, stuff like that. So you look into the car and it looks pretty decently clean, right? Like, the seats do have a couple little tears here because it is a 98, so I didn't expect anything not to be totally worn out. So once you get into the car, the first thing I noticed was, he said this display, like the plastic cracked, so he got some JDM thing, some glass thing. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, you know what? The mileage did actually add up on the Carfax. So if we look at the Carfax here, this is where I get really upset. So as you can see here, it's a 98 Lexus GS 300. Got the report, right? You go here, damage records found. But when I looked into the damage records, where is it? This page. It says collision claim unknown, $0 amount. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, it was just like a windshield or something small. So basically, I'm looking at this report, and it shows me, you know, it was driven, it was renewed every year, but it doesn't tell me the mileage until I get to the back here, and the last reported mileage was 153,000 kilometers. If you look here, it says low kilometers in the top right corner. So I'm like, okay. So I purchased the car, drive it home, I go to get plates for it the next day, and I get the sales package from the Ontario MTO, so the DMV basically. And as you can see here, 98 Lexus brown, right? Just covering the VIN, just cause. As we can see here, I don't want to give away people's information here, but if you look at the reported mileage on this car, it is nowhere near 153,000 kilometers. We're at 510,700, and that was in 2013 or 12. Right? Now we're at 530. We're at 555,000 in 2014. And we're at 531,000 in 2014. So, I don't know if Carfax or CarProof, if they have any access to ministry documents, but this is a huge clerical error that they have to figure out, because I bought this car thinking it had that much mileage on it. I then get shocked and find out it has, if it was 2014 and it had 555,000, it's probably got over 600,000 kilometers. And you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do now. I went to go after the seller of the car, but the name on the seller title was of the guy who owned the car before this kid. So I can't believe, when you have the used vehicle report, CarProof and Carfax are saying it has low kilometers, and then all of a sudden it has almost 600,000 kilometers. So you really have to do your research on these cars. I have done my research. I have looked everywhere. I've even gone to some of the service stations I worked on the car, and they confirmed it has about 500 and something thousand on it. So I guess the moral of the story is do your homework. You know, it is what it is, but that is just absolutely unacceptable on my part. I cannot believe that, because I started noticing when I took it in for an inspection, this thing needed so much stuff. Like, it needed exhaust, it needed control arms, it needed just stuff that you wouldn't usually need on a car that has 153,000 on it, right? Like wheel speed sensors, stuff like that. So guys, you gotta take a look at what you're getting. And yeah, that's basically it. I actually had a dealership plug in a computer into it, and the exact mileage is 610,300. So, as you can admit, I am quite upset right now, especially when you spend $45 for a history report that is supposed to be certified, and the car comes back with over 500,000 kilometers. Well guys, that is my story for the day. I am going to end up just driving this car because I don't really have a choice now, right? I thought I was getting a good deal. I did my homework, got a car proof and a Carfax before I bought the car, and it turned out to bite me right in the behind. So, wow, that's all I can say. If you guys know anything about a situation like this, if you could please comment below and tell me what I should do about this, that would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you.